With the exception of Nikola Jokic, NBA players are putting in some serious work in the gym during the offseason to transform their bodies. A few pounds of muscle added or some unwanted fat shed can make a huge difference in the NBA. So, let's look at some of the most shocking NBA body transformations in 2024. First off, we have Domantas Sabonis, who says he has no more body fat. Domantas Sabonis is one of the best centers in the NBA today. He's a walking triple-double and is one of the most unstoppable inside scorers in the league. But unlike the other elite centers, Sabonis has a game that relies on finesse and grace instead of athleticism. Sabonis was never fat or skinny. He's one of the leanest big men in the league. At somewhere around 240 pounds in the past, he never looked like he needed to add weight or get stronger, but a recent blood test made him change his diet. It turned out that his body was sensitive to some of the things that he loved eating, including Italian food. He had to change his diet and cut gluten from his usual meals. He says that he actually gained weight due to his diet, but most of the weight that he gained was muscle instead of fat. He even jokes that he hardly has any fat left on his body because of his new diet. Sabonis is now averaging career highs in almost every category while leading the Sacramento Kings, who are in the position to make it to the playoffs. It's clear that whatever he did to his body worked well. Hoping to win a championship, Jayson Tatum spent time in the weight room. Jayson Tatum is an all-NBA talent and is likely going to stay that way for at least a decade. At 6'8", he's a skilled forward with the scoring abilities of a shooting guard, but one of the problems he faced throughout his career was the physicality of opposing defenses. Back in the 2022 NBA Finals, he struggled to make shots near the basket against the physical front line of the Golden State Warriors, but he has since been putting in the necessary work to improve his strength and conditioning. During the 2023 offseason, he spent a lot of time in the weight room and got stronger by setting new personal records in his lifts. Tatum revealed during the Boston Celtics media day that he gained at least 10 pounds of muscle during the offseason.
You put some weight on this summer? You're looking big.
You can see it.
You're looking big, man.
Your shoulders.
Yeah, I put on, I'm like 225 now. I was like 214 last season.
Wow.
There you can see it in his shoulders.
He said that he worked on understanding how to dictate where he wants to go on offense. Adding weight and becoming stronger is part of his progression in getting the defense to adjust to him instead of him adjusting to the defense. The stronger he gets, the better he'll be at pushing defenders around. Opposing forwards may be getting smaller, but Tatum still needed to bulk up and add strength to stand his ground when matched up with physical players. He also knows that an NBA season is a long grind that's going to take a toll on his body. Most players tend to lose weight during the regular season with all the activities they do on and off the court. Adding muscle improves Tatum's fitness and conditioning in preparation for the long NBA season and quite probably a deep run to the finals. Up next, Wemby is still slender, but he's added some muscle. Ever since he was just 16 years old, Victor Wembanyama was on the NBA's radar. Standing more than 7 feet tall, the kid was showcasing moves that only guards are supposed to have. He eventually grew up to become at least 7'4". The long-armed rookie got drafted by the Spurs in 2023 and is set to become the new face of the franchise. But the biggest criticism about Wemby is his slender frame. It's hard to gain mass when everything he eats goes straight to his height instead of his weight. Still, he tried to work hard on bulking up in time for his rookie season. The off-season work allowed Wembanyama to gain 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. He still looks incredibly slender and lean, but the muscle definition is already there. Wemby's slight frame still won't be enough to help him keep the likes of Embiid and Jokic at bay. After all, Embiid dropped 70 points on him, but the added muscle mass has helped him adjust to the physicality of the NBA without making him lose the freakish mobility that has always made him a rare commodity in the league. He said that he and the Spurs are not looking to rush his weight gain. Wemby could have realistically gained more muscle during the previous offseason, but the focus was more on putting strength and stability into his body instead of weight. His trainers said that it's more important for him to get stronger instead of heavier. Wemby's probably going to add more muscle mass in the future, but it seems likely that the goal is for him to stay within a manageable weight while getting stronger so that his body doesn't become too heavy for his joints to handle. By doing so, he could minimize injuries while maximizing his mobility. Whatever he did during the offseason worked because he's putting on a fantastic Rookie of the Year season and is going to become one of the biggest superstars in the world in the future. Of course, Chet Holmgren has also added body mass. Right around the same time as Wemby became a sensation on YouTube, Chet Holmgren also became one of the most interesting young prospects. The young man was showcasing Kevin Durant-like skills at more than 7 feet tall. After 1 year at Gonzaga, where he was a unique offensive and defensive force, he was drafted by the OKC Thunder in the first round before missing his rookie year due to an injury. In the 12-month span between 2022 and 2023, Holmgren worked hard on getting healthy while also preparing his body for his rookie season. He was always skinny his entire life. He's probably a lot skinnier than Wanyama. That was why he needed to put on some muscle during the time he was away from the game. The 7'1" big man surprised everyone when he came into the Thunder's training camp in 2023 with a more muscular physique. Sure, he's still a twig when compared to Embiid or Jokic, but the important part is that he's been putting the work in to prepare himself for the grind of the NBA. Holmgren is a bit sensitive when it comes to his weight because he's probably heard comments about his body since he was in high school. He didn't even take kindly to what Jokic said about him needing to eat more to gain weight. Chet knows that it's a struggle to gain weight when you've always been skinny your entire life. It's possible that he's probably never going to have a huge body transformation like Giannis Antetokounmpo did, but he and the Thunder know that he needs to get stronger while adding a few pounds to his frame if he wants to compete with the best centers in the league from a physical standpoint. Holmgren's rookie season has been nothing short of impressive. He's been putting up good and efficient numbers for a skinny rookie. So if he becomes stronger and adds a bit of mass, he's going to be a real problem to the rest of the league, especially if he retains his handles and shooting touch. Speaking of body mass, Ben Simmons has been putting in the work. Ben Simmons entered the league as a unique talent. At 6'10", he played and moved like a guard. He was the Magic Johnson with LeBron James' athleticism. His physical gifts and rare skills helped him become a 3-time All-Star. But since 2021, he hasn't done anything notable. Simmons hasn't played a lot ever since that huge meltdown in the second round of the 2021 playoffs, where he struggled from a mental aspect. The former All-Star has also been dealing with back problems that made it hard for him to even get on the floor. Simmons was always muscular, but he just didn't have the same explosiveness and conditioning during the 2022-23 season when he played about half the season. Questions were raised regarding his commitment to the game because it didn't look like he was willing to put in the necessary work to get back to his old self. He hasn't been as healthy as the Brooklyn Nets would have wanted him to be, but he made it a point to work hard during the 2023 offseason when he was posting his workout photos. Simmons gave the Nets fans hope that he could get back to his all-star form after showing off his commitment to his body. He looked better and more muscular in the photos and has shown that he's moving a lot better and more explosive than he did a year ago. He still isn't quite healthy, but the work he did to improve his fitness and conditioning is a good sign for his future. Jaylen Williams, another young guy, is looking jacked. Last season, the OKC Thunder found a young gem in Jaylen Williams, who was drafted 12th overall from Santa Clara. Williams made it to the all-rookie second team while posting impressive stats for a rookie shooting guard. But because no one thought that he was a standout talent in high school and in college, it looked like he already reached his peak a season ago. But Williams put in the work to prepare himself for the 2023-24 season. He got in the lab and emphasized strengthening his upper body during the offseason. Photos of his transformation circulated all over the internet, leading to jokes about him getting drug tested. Simply put, he bulked up and has looked bigger and stronger than ever. There's a reason why he needed to work on his strength and physique. The Thunder lack true size in the middle, especially when their starting center is struggling to gain weight. OKC doesn't even have a starting caliber power forward. And so, it fell on the 6'5" Jaylen Williams to play power forward for the Thunder throughout the 2023-24 season. He has been holding up well as the starting power forward despite being undersized. The added strength and muscle mass have helped him keep up with the physicality of opposing big men. But more importantly, he's become a more dangerous offensive force for OKC. Williams is averaging career highs in almost every category, including his shooting efficiency. Getting stronger allows him to absorb bumps when he attacks the paint, which is one of his specialties on the offensive end. And because of his outside shooting, he has become a matchup nightmare for opposing forwards throughout the NBA. Still at an MVP level, Giannis continues grinding. There was a point in time when Giannis was just a youngster with long limbs and the mobility of a gazelle. But the only reason why he was so skinny as a teenager was that he grew up poor in Greece and had no access to proper nutrition and training. When he got to the NBA, he started grinding his way to achieve the physique of a Greek god. Giannis looks like he was carved out of stone because he has a chiseled body that has muscles built to dominate and bruise opposing defenders. He's gone a long way from the rookie who weighed 190 pounds years ago. The work he's been putting himself through during the offseason has allowed Giannis to win the MVP award twice. In 2021, he won a championship to solidify a career worthy of the Hall of Fame, but 2 MVPs and a championship was never enough for a man who still wants to achieve more in the NBA. Giannis doesn't stop grinding during the offseason and is continuing to add more muscle to his frame to become even more unstoppable. Already extremely dominant, Giannis showed off his offseason work in 2023 and is now around 50 to 60 pounds heavier than he was during his rookie season. The muscle he added during the offseason has helped him average a career high in field goal shooting this season. It's not like he's going to join Mr. Olympia anytime soon, but Giannis belongs on Mount Olympus because of his legendary physique. If he keeps transforming his body every season, he's bound to win at least one more MVP or even another championship. Likely to be an MVP in the future, Luka Donic has been looking and playing at his best. He's been a phenom ever since he entered the NBA. As the youngest EuroLeague MVP in history, Luka entered the league with a complete set of skills that no one at his age has ever had. But the biggest knock on his game was his lack of athleticism. Sure, he doesn't have prime Westbrook's speed or LeBron's leaping ability, but Doncic has made it clear that not being fast or explosive doesn't hinder his game at all. He understands how to use proper pacing to get to the basket and finish strong against any defender. More importantly, he uses his body incredibly well when attacking the paint or posting up. While Doncic may have a body that's a bit on the pudgy side, it's never stopped him from averaging 30 points. His body mass has even helped him get an advantage over smaller players, but what was clear was that he had problems with his conditioning. Luka was known for putting on explosive scoring performances in the first half, only for him to look tired and gassed by the fourth quarter. Carrying the entire offense of the Dallas Mavericks can do that to a player. But in Luka's case, his conditioning was questioned because he often struggled in crunch time. You are bad! You are bad! You are bad! Realizing that there was only one way for him to take his game to the next level and win a championship, Luka worked hard during the 2023 offseason before leading Slovenia in the FIBA World Cup. He was extremely dominant on the world stage and led his team in every single category. And there was a noticeable change in his physique because he was slimmer during that tournament. He still isn't the fastest or most athletic player in the NBA, but Luka's impressive body transformation has helped him become even more unstoppable during the 2023-24 season. He's averaging career highs in points and assists. Doncic was already at the level of an MVP before he transformed his body, but it looks like he's going to become an MVP in the future if he maintains his current fitness level. Next up, we have Anthony Davis, who is now ready to become a full-time center. Often ridiculed for being made of glass, Anthony Davis's history of injuries is well documented. He's won a championship and is a perennial all-star, but the one problem he's had his entire career is his health. Davis entered the NBA as a skinny but wide-shouldered 19-year-old national champion from Kentucky. He steadily added muscle to his frame to become one of the most dominant big men of his generation. Aside from winning an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year award, he has done everything he could possibly do in the NBA. But the consensus is that he could have done more for the Los Angeles Lakers and could have achieved more if he stayed healthy his entire career. There were a lot of times when the Lakers were in a good position to win a championship, only for AD to go down with an injury. Being injury-prone is likely one of the reasons why he doesn't like playing the center position and would rather stay at the power forward spot. But Davis is far too skilled, dominant, and unstoppable inside the paint to be shooting jumpers as a power forward. The Lakers need him to be a center if they want to win another championship in the LeBron and AD era. During the 2023 offseason, Davis looked bigger and stronger while he was working out. He's added more muscle to his frame and is likely closer to 260 pounds right now compared to his usual playing weight of 253 pounds. The added bulk helps him when taking bumps and bruises inside the paint now that he is already a full-time center. It also looks like the offseason work helped him stay healthy because he hasn't missed a lot of games this season and is on pace to play 70 games for the first time since 2018. Playing center is probably the best for both AD and the Lakers moving forward, especially if they want to add banner number 18 up in the rafters. Davis is clearly motivated to win more championships for the Lakers, especially with his recent body transformation. And finally, Shaq may already be retired, but he still puts in the work. It's been more than 10 years since Shaq retired. The man was known as the most dominant force the league has ever seen. He claims that at one point in his career, he weighed 400 pounds because he never tried to eat healthy or work hard during the offseason. But even though he may have been overweight, he dominated his way to 4 NBA championships. Near the end of his career, his weight was down to somewhere between 330 and 350 pounds before retiring from the game in 2011. However, retiring from basketball didn't do good on Shaq's body. He ate a lot of unhealthy stuff and ballooned to over 400 pounds once more. The difference was that he was more fat than muscular. His friends even joked about how he started to look like Charles Barkley. Shaq realized that he was not happy with what he was seeing in the mirror. That's when he decided that he needed to change his diet. From 2022 to 2024, O'Neal ate healthier and has been more motivated than ever to lose weight. His original goal was to lose only 20 pounds, but when he saw how well the diet worked, he decided to keep going until he lost 55 pounds by September 2023. Shaq says that he aims to return to his old weight of 315 to 330, which was what he weighed during his prime in the NBA. The Big Diesel's discipline in his 50s is quite impressive and should be an inspiration to younger guys in the NBA. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the video on the screen now to see more content like this.